Hey, Bobby Manning here, CLNS Media, Celtics All Access, and the Garden Report. After a 111-105 win for the Celtics, a rare back-to-back here at TD Garden. Got a few hours of sleep, firing out some stories on Marcus Smart, his rejuvenation. Didn't have quite the same game here, 1-4, but some big nights for other guys. Dennis Schröder, 29, another fantastic game for him. Jason Tatum puts in his third straight 30-point night, and even though the walk of shame did occur with 10 seconds left, Ime Udoka had to bring all the starters back in. I don't think he had to, but the Thunder went on 8-0 run down the stretch, got within 4. Really had the effort and will to get back into this game throughout, but the Celtics held them out of it. 50% first half effort on offense, 28 assists, 7 turnovers. 2 of those came late, so the Celtics didn't turn the ball over at all and give those opportunities up. A clean, active passing effort, I thought highlighted by a 4-pass possession that set up Jason Tatum for a wide-open 3 at the top of the break in the first half. Second half, largely uncompetitive as long as the starters were out there. Question is, as we head toward Monday and the Celtics just keep rolling now, since Jaylen Brown went down, they're 11th in the league in offense, 8th in defense. They're finding the balance they want. Al Horford talking after the game, just about finally becoming the team that they want to be. The question is, who are they going to be when Robert Williams, Jaylen Brown return, Ime Udoka, talking before the game, saying that they're going to be back soon. These aren't long-term injuries, even though Brown's missed, 8 games now at this point with the hamstring injury. I think his is turned long-term, maybe just a slip of the tongue there. But Rob's, hopefully, is what he's indicating, is not long-term. And I asked Ime last week, was Schröder rolling? I love the Schröder-Smart combination. Schröder told me the other day that he's looked up to Smart throughout his years playing in the league for the defensive intensity, and now they're sharing it on the floor. 108 offensive rating, 100 defensive rating when they're playing together this year. How do you want to break that up? And evidently they're going to do it. So Smart stays at point guard. Brown moves back into the starting lineup. Robert Williams moves next to Al Horford, and it's a lineup that has had success, plus 8.5. Not a great offensive rating, 102, but a dominant defensive rating, 94. That would be the best if it was a team by far in the NBA. So I understand why Udoka wants that rock to start games, and he contends you'll still see Smart, Schröder throughout the course of a game. Probably about a 6-minute difference if you look at the differential between when Schröder starts and when he comes off the bench, and we haven't seen him coming off the bench a ton, given the injuries and his default status as the 6th man on this team. He's gotten a start in 11 out of the, 17 games. So Schröder's been the starter more often than not. He's shooting 50% from the field when he is, and he brings a real energy and tone to the starting lineup that I think is good. Grant Williams is the other one, though. Another strong shooting game, hitting 4 threes in this one, playing off Jason Tatum particularly well. When you think of how Tatum plays, he gets to the rim, underneath, wants to swing to the weak side as doubles come, pressure comes at that rim, and who's always there on the weak side open? 50% of the time, Grant Williams is shooting wide open threes. And essentially, that is his offense, hitting those shots. 43% on the season, 43% overall from 3 this year. That's his game, and he's doing it. He was talking after the game saying that when he was a rookie, they try to pump him up through the shooting lulls, 0-25 to start his career. Now they get mad when he missed because they're relying on him to hit those shots. And we talk about the shooting deficiency on this team. Grant's not going to come in and shoot 11 threes. Probably going to take 3 or 4. He takes 6 in this one. But he's a reliable shooter at this point in his career. You look at his career numbers since that 0-25 start, he essentially is a 40% guy, even without a massive volume now through 3 seasons. And he's given you some rebounding. He's given you a few blocks in this game, which was surprising. There's a case for Grant to continue to play with the starters. I know John on the Celtics postgame show, and you'll want to go watch that, made the case for him to continue to start because maybe he's not as maximized off the bench. I think there's a chance he still could be given the short rotation that the Celtics are running, and I just don't know where you go. I'd rather see Schröder continue to start than Grant squeezed in there for shooting purposes. I still think there's a difficulty when it comes to Harry Nesmith, Peyton Pritchard, who I like, and Grant, of just forcing those guys in there for minutes just to get some shooting, because the Celtics are showing over this last stretch here that they can still be a fully competent offense and do the things that they want to on the defensive side of the floor. If they're getting downhill of the basket, Dennis Schröder has been capable of hitting some open threes for them. He hit a couple here on the end of some passing sequences. So they'll scrape by with the shooting, play great defense, and if they have enough playmaking on the offensive side of the floor, I think they can get by there too. I'm just worried with the double big lineup that this team's going to build some holes early in games, and that's when we start to see a little doubt creep in, a little panic, and they have to overcome that as the game goes on. And they've done that. They did it against the Lakers. They've done it in other situations this year. But overall, another good win against the Thunder here puts the Celtics on track to get up into the upper echelon of the conference. They're right there with the Knicks right now, who are heading in the opposite direction. So the Celtics finally feeling good about where they're at, getting closer to full health. We'll see an injury report closer to Monday, and then I think that starting lineup and the rotations become the biggest question in terms of the Celtics being able to sustain this. Monday shouldn't be a problem against the Rockets, who have one win and don't know what the hell they're doing, with John Wall sitting on the sideline, Kevin Porter Jr. trying to play point guard, and a mixed bag of other guys struggling to shoot. Eric Gordon would fit perfectly on these Celtics, but that salary is just a little too high for the TPE. And that's the Nets on Wednesday, the best three-point shooting team in the NBA, so it'll be a fantastic challenge for this Celtics defense if they can get everybody healthy and have their rotation set for that game. A real early season test if they're going to think about even competing in the middle tier, never mind the upper tier of the East, because if you're that 7-6 seed again, there's a possibility that you can match up with the Brooklyn Nets round one. Celtics probably aiming higher than that. And right now, it looks like they do have a little higher aspirations, I'll say, than at least what they did last year. They should be over 500 this year. Maybe they're right at 500, but they've beaten everybody they should so far, and it was no difference here for this one. Subscribe. Celtics All Access, CLNS Media, YouTube. Check out our stories at clnsmedia.com. Something on Al Horford coming up by tomorrow as you see this, as well as our Boston Sports Journal, my weekly NBA notes. Talked a lot about what we did here with Schröder, Smart, that starting lineup, that combo, how it came together and how it could factor into the Celtics' future this season, even though Schröder doesn't seem to be starting going into the future. I'm Bobby Manning. The back-to-back's done. Make sure, as I get a day off here, I'm going to use the Calm app, and you should too. Calm.com/garden. You get 40% off a premium subscription of Rain, bedtime stories, yoga, meditation. It's all so crucial to your mental health and just being able to get in the right headspace to write, as I do night in and night out. And sleep is so important, all this stuff too. So go out there, get a Calm subscription, 40% off, just a few days left to do it. Calm.com/garden. We'll see you on Monday.